Good morning, everybody. 22 now, 31 later on this gorgeous Friday. Homeopathic Dr. Bryce Wylde is here. Hey, buddy.
How are you? How's everybody?
Good to see you.
It's so nice to be here.
That's good.
Yes.
So as ever, Bryce, we put the call out and we got lots of responses looking for your advice.
Natural health advice is the name of the game. On that note, just before we start, if you don't mind, some breaking news. Homeopathic doctor. So Bill 171 was passed, or it's just in the motions of being passed, after being read by Parliament, 3 times and, 3 years later. And it's no longer homeopathic doctor, which I think is a good thing. So doctor title is out. We're homeopaths now. And that's important for everyone to understand because, as it relates to medical doctor versus what we do. So you can now call me Bryce Wylde, homeopathic, not a doctor. All right? And look,
that's going to be a hard habit to break.
We don't want anyone to think that we are primary healthcare physicians. We're definitely ancillary. So I think it's a good move in the right direction to really give us some autonomy to what we do.
Well, Dave was asking about that, and you are about the integrated, aren't you?
Absolutely. I run a big, alternative and integrative healthcare practice. I oversee actually 4 other medical doctors, 3 other naturopathic doctors, and nutritionists and physiotherapists. So I'm very much the real thing about, integration and hold mainstream medicine in highest regard.
Right,
Absolutely.
and so this is complementary, it's also preventative.
Yep.
All right, so let's get to the questions. This is from Julie. My husband is suffering with allergies quite badly this year. What do you recommend? He found in other years eating honey from the area really worked, but we haven't had a chance to buy it yet. He started taking Claritin, he feels better, but even the non-drowsy makes him sleepy.
Yeah, it's interesting. So antihistamines, the way they work, these are the little mast cells within the body, they blow up, they release histamine and serotonin, and that's really what the symptoms arise from. It's a confused immune system. There's nothing wrong with pollens in the air, and on that note, there's really nothing wrong with a peanut, but it's a confused immune system. So honey works because it's giving microdoses of local, in particular, amounts of that pollen to the body to help it recognize that, this is really nothing worthy of attacking. So slowly it sort of down-regulates or, reduces the immune response. So that's why honey works. But I love Moducare. And Moducare is made out of plant sterols, which is like a plant cholesterol. Good for you, though. It actually reduces cholesterol. And that helps to balance the immune system. So with allergies, one part of the immune system is hyper-elevated, another part's a little suppressed. And this is what, Moducare, or that plant sterol activity does.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, and I have a question from Debbie, and she would like to know a weight loss tip for natural appetite suppressant.
I don't like suppressants. I don't like suppressants. There is, there's hormones in the body that control and regulate appetite. So ghrelin, leptin, all kinds of chemistries going on when we feel hungry. The idea is really not to suppress those hormones, but there are some interesting formulas out there. One that I like is PGX, and the reason it's not suppress it, but the reason it works is because it actually fills you up. So taking that along with food.
A lot.
Yeah,
what,
PGX
is that a supplement? Or?
It's a supplement. Most of what I specialize in is those things that you would take orally and how you'd incorporate those in your life.
I think.
It's everywhere. It's so widely available. Expand something like 10 times its size. It's an amazing fiber. It's both, soluble and insoluble type of fiber. It helps to reduce, once again, cholesterol. But the interesting thing is that it gets you to feel full. So there's something called baroreceptors in the stomach, and that takes about 15 to 20 minutes. You heard the whole thing, like eat a small amount, wait 15 to 20 minutes. It's because your stomach takes a while before those baroreceptors can actually tell the brain, hey, listen, I've had enough. So PGX actually helps to increase that, the speed of that response.
So you feel hungry.
What have you got in front of you here, Bryce? What did you bring with you?
A lot of treats. So, so
Watch
here.
the water, by the way.
Yeah, I know we had an accident with
did you?
I'm
I'm always trying to remain active, and I think it's really important that we all do. So I'm excited about a few formulas, that I have out here on the table, and for a number of reasons. But one in particular is because I'm running 100 kilometers with a team of 4 for the purpose of raising money for Oxfam.
And how long are you taking to do that, Bryce? Isn't it some crazy short amount of time?
Under 24 hours.
You're nuts.
I tell you. So this is why I need to learn, and I've gone through some major learning process as to how to fuel myself. Okay, and this is a product by Genuine Health, which I fully believe in. It's called Active Fuel. I'm going to give Doubting Dave a taste of
Why
this.
am I doubting Dave? By the way,
on your face,
well,
Dave.
I can't help it.
But actually, I know that you've reformed. I know you've reformed because I know you're eating kale chips now, thanks to Joey. Joy, rather, McCarthy. Oh, no?
I'm sorry.
Not good? Is it that?
Not
No,
the white blazer.
It's delicious. Who else wants to try this? The reason for the pink color, by the way, is beet juice. And one thing that beet juice does is it actually, it increases your circulation. and increases something called nitric oxide, which actually fuels the cells in your arterial.
Before you work out, you want to use this, or after?
You want to use it before and after. It's a great question because what it's going to do for me.
So if I drink this, I will be able to run an ultramarathon.
Something on my body swell 10 times its normal size.
No, that was something else.
So there's taurine in there to support your heart. There's beet juice to support circulation. There's electrolytes, including coconut water, freeze-dried.
Oh, coconut water.
Yeah, that's a big fad, right?
That's like. There's people into that more than Scientology.
Right. Well, that's absolutely true. But these things do have effects. These things do have physiologic effects. And, there's some amino acids in here. So, look, when you're running 100K, and will this make you get to the finish line? No. But one thing it will do is actually, supply the muscles with all the things that it needs in order to get to the finish line. And then to give you what you require to actually resupply what you've lost over the course of that.
So you could use this post-recovery from a workout?
Pre and post-recovery, absolutely. And then, of course, I'm expecting some pain, so one of the things I'm excited about, I actually reported this on the Dr. Oz show. I frequent that show as well. And California Poppy. There's a
people went nuts. You couldn't find this anymore.
Yeah, that's right. California Poppy not only helps you recover in terms of pain, so Wampool's made something called Relief. It actually helps you sleep better. And it really gets you that deep sleep. So everyone's heard of HGH. This is a hormone that we make that helps us, maintain strength and get to the finish line.
Yes.
Sleeping
HGH is human growth hormone.
Human growth hormone. You got it.
Yeah.
Sleeping and deep sleep is the most effective way to recover.
Wow.
The most effective way, and to build more of that HGH, so you get stronger and, in fact, lose weight.
What about vitamin K? We've had 2 people on this show
K2,
talking about K.
It knits the bones. This stuff is incredible to maintain. So a lot of us are inactive, and a lot of us are weekend warriors, and a lot of what I'm talking about here is helpful for the weekend warriors. But those of us who are inactive, in particular those who are osteopenic or osteoporotic, that you're losing your bone mass over time, it's because we're sedentary. We don't move around enough. And just being a weekend warrior is not good enough, in particular for the female population. So K2 is going to help, along with vitamin D, magnesium, manganese, boron, calcium, to knit the bones and put those minerals together.
What did we do before we had all this stuff?
What would you do? Yeah, well,
what did we do?
I'll tell you what it was. It was in our organic food.
We died younger.
Well, we did that too, and we did, but
Bryce,
at the end of the day,
can you stick around?
I'd love to.
Because we have to take a break, but we have so many more questions, and clearly we all have so many more questions. Let's take a quick break, and we'll answer more of your questions when we come back. Homeopath Bryce Wylde is here, and he's answering your questions. It's so great to have you here, Bryce.
It's so nice to be here, guys.
It's great chatting.
I love this wonderful round table. This is
I mean, like it.
Who invented this? This is an incredible little show.
I believe it was King Arthur.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right, exactly. All right, we have questions
-7.
from our viewers for you, Bryce.
All right, here we go. Here's one. I had a Durolane injection to lubricate my joints for knee pain. After the injection, I've had swelling and pain, and it's been over a month. I do have some arthritis, and I wonder if there's any allergic reactions with this shot.
Well, you can be allergic to anything to start off. Not many folks can be allergic to corticosteroid injections or Durolane. I mean, these are things that are designed to have a very low, antigen or reaction rate. And I'm not opposed to them if and when you really need them. However, there are some natural and alternative anti-inflammatories. Anti-inflammatories are part of the NSAID classification of drugs. They typically, over long term, rot your stomach. But if you want something natural, I love Devil's Claw, and it works. And I've got it here as well, anticipating the level of activity, 100K that I'm running. It's going to cause a lot of inflammation in my joints. So I'm taking Devil's Claw. Wampool's made a formula. It's a herb. It's a gnarly little herb that looks like claws, and it's kind of freakish looking. So they've coined it Devil's Claw.
At one stage?
You know what? That's what you're drinking. Actually, you're drinking Eye of Newt and Batwing there, by the way. Just so you know, on top of the beet juice.
Doubting Dave.
And I got to throw in there essential fatty acids for this individual too. I mean, this is something that they should all be on.
So you can get this claw stuff. You can get this in the store.
Wampool calls it Relief. So it's widely available across Canada. Absolutely.
Okay, this next one's from Kathy. She says, I'm an early riser, 4:30 a.m., so I go to bed at 8. I usually get home at 6 p.m. or so. Have to eat dinner, then I usually am in bed. Please advise what should be eaten for healthy dinner to avoid weight gain when you are literally needing to sleep an hour or two later. That sounds like a question that we would.
It sounds like she's also maybe insinuating, I don't know for sure, that she's not eating frequently enough during the day, and that is key. So here's my favorite diet is the GI diet, glycemic index. You take that into consideration. You eat like a diabetic, although you're not. That means low glycemic foods, foods that have high sugar absorption, fast, like white rice or white bread. Avoid all that stuff. We've heard this age-old rhetoric. The best thing to eat at night is a little bit of complex carbohydrates, so like a small serving of brown rice, for example, with some lentils, and a lot of roughage, so greens, kale, cabbage, mustard greens, carrots, some tubers. Fit that in, and then don't eat too close to going to sleep. So if it's 8 o'clock at night, that's okay, so long as you're going to bed around 10. You need time to digest it and move it through.
I got a question from Richard Woodhouse on our live blog at morningshow.ca, and he's wondering, he drinks a lot of green tea but is getting a little bit tired of it. Is there another type of tea that he could drink that would be beneficial to his health?
Whether it's, absolutely, whether it's green, white, oolong, or black, it's all from the Camellia sinensis plant, and that has a high amount of theanine, which is amazing for us. Also EGCG, which actually helps to rid or prevent cancer, okay? Not rid, doesn't cure, but help to prevent cancer. So switch it up. I like oolong. I love something, called pu-erh. This is from Western China. It's a delicacy there, okay? This has the ability to fight fat cells, reduce fat cells. And if you love or crave something like an O. Henry bar, take the smallest little piece off that, dump it in the tea, mix it around. That'll satisfy cravings because you'll get the whole eminence of that particular chocolate bar, and you'll satisfy the craving. Ditch, of course, the rest of it, so you're not tempted.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it'll really satisfy the craving and give you another flavor.
Bryce, great to have you here. Real quick, tell people
much.
again how they can support your run.
Oxfam, right? So this is for ending poverty and best interest in women's health. WyldeAboutHealth.com. There's over 700,000 pages of free information about what we're talking about today. Natural health information there. WyldeAboutHealth.com. Please donate. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's amazing.